You never realize you are being targeted until it is already too late. Toxic people don't show up with red flags waving in the air. They don't walk up to you and announce that they are going to ruin your peace. Instead, they move quietly. They watch you. They calculate your moves. They study the emotional gaps in your armor. And while you are just living your life, thinking you've made a new friend or found a new partner, they are already deciding whether you are someone they can manipulate, drain, or break. The truth is harsh, but you need to hear it. Most of us believe that toxic relationships are just bad luck. We think we just happen to stumble across a difficult person, but that is rarely the case. In the world of dark psychology, there is no such thing as an accidental victim. Predatory personalities, whether they are narcissists, sociopaths, or just highly manipulative people, do not choose their targets randomly. They are hunters. And like any hunter, they select their prey based on specific traits. If you have been feeling drained, confused, or constantly on edge lately, this video is for you. We are going to decode the 10 subtle signs that show you are actively being targeted. These aren't just random annoyances, they are calculated moves. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. By the end of this video, you won't just know how to spot them, you will know exactly how to shut them down using the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Before we get into the signs, we have to destroy a very dangerous myth. There is a common misconception that toxic people target the weak, the broken, or the insecure. This is wrong. In fact, it is usually the exact opposite. Think about it. A thief doesn't break into an empty house. They break into a house that has treasure inside. Toxic people operate the same way. They don't target you because you are weak. They target you because you have something valuable that they lack. They are attracted to your empathy, your talent, your light, your ability to forgive, and your resilience. In psychology, this is often called narcissistic supply. They are empty inside, void of genuine emotion and self-worth. So they need to consume yours. They see your kindness not as a virtue, but as a weakness to be exploited. They see your patience as an invitation to push boundaries. When a toxic person looks at you, they aren't looking for a partner or a friend. They are looking for a host. They are asking themselves, how much can I get from this person before they break? Understanding this is the first step to freedom. You are not a victim because you are flawed. You are a target because you are valuable. But value needs protection. Let's look at how they try to dismantle that protection, step by step. Sign number 1, the mirror trap. This is usually the very first stage, and it is the hardest to spot because it feels so good. You meet someone, and suddenly, it feels like you have met your soulmate. They like everything you like. They hate everything you hate. Their values align perfectly with yours. They use the same slang you use, and they even match your energy levels perfectly. In dark psychology, this is called mirroring, and it is a trap. Human beings naturally crave connection. We want to be understood. The manipulator knows this. They are shapeshifters. They don't have a solid identity of their own, so they reflect yours back to you. They are downloading your personality and replaying it to you to lower your defenses. If you feel like a relationship is moving at warp speed, or if you find yourself thinking, I've never met anyone who gets me like this. Be careful. Authentic connection takes time to build. It involves friction and differences. If the reflection is too perfect and happens too fast, it's not compatibility. It's camouflage. They are mirroring you, so you trust them quickly, giving them the keys to your emotional house before you've even checked their ID. Sign number 2, the boundary poke. Once they have hooked you with mirroring, they begin the testing phase. This is subtle. They won't do anything unforgivable yet. Instead, they will start with small, seemingly harmless violations of your boundaries. Maybe they show up late repeatedly without a real apology. Maybe they make a joke about your insecurity, and when you react, they say they were just kidding. Maybe they borrow something and forget to return it. These aren't accidents. These are what we call boundary pokes. They are testing your elasticity. They want to see how much disrespect you are willing to tolerate. If you stay silent to keep the peace, they log that information. They learn that you are agreeable. They learn that your no actually means maybe. Every time you let a small violation slide, you are essentially giving them permission to escalate. They are training you, slowly, to accept unacceptable behavior. Sign number 3, the information excavator. Watch out for people who ask questions that are too deep, too soon. In a normal relationship, trust is earned. You share your vulnerabilities gradually as the bond strengthens, but a toxic targeter will try to accelerate this process. They act like an information excavator. They will ask about your childhood trauma, your biggest fears, your worst breakups, and your deepest insecurities. Within the first few conversations, they frame this as deep connection or being vulnerable. But here is the difference. They are listening, but they aren't empathizing. They are data mining. They are collecting ammunition. They need to know where your emotional triggers are so they can use them against you later. When the mask eventually falls off, you will be shocked to hear them throw your deepest secrets back in your face during an argument. They gathered that intel in the beginning, and they have been saving it for the perfect moment to hurt you. Sign number 4, the predatory gaze. This is a sign that relies on your intuition more than logic. It's about nonverbal communication. Have you ever been talking to someone and you get the distinct feeling that they aren't really looking at you, but looking through you? This is the predatory gaze. It is an intense, unblinking observation. It lacks warmth. When a normal person looks at you, there is an exchange of emotion. When a toxic person looks at you, it feels like a scan. They are observing your micro-expressions. They are watching to see if their flattery is working. They are looking for signs of weakness or doubt. It feels invasive because it is invasive. You might feel like an object being appraised at an auction, rather than a human being engaged in conversation. If their eye contact makes you feel like you need to shrink or hide, trust that feeling. Sign number 5, the backhanded compliment. In psychology, this is often called negging. It is a manipulation tactic designed to lower your self-esteem while keeping you seeking their validation. They will never insult you outright. That would be too obvious. Instead, they wrap an insult inside a compliment. They might say things like, "You are actually really smart for someone who didn't go to college," or I love how you just wear anything and don't care what people think. It sounds nice on the surface, but it leaves a bitter aftertaste. The goal here is to position themselves above you. They are the judge, and you are the contestant. By subtly knocking down your confidence, they make you work harder for their approval. You start thinking, maybe I am not that smart, or maybe I need to dress better. Slowly, your self-worth starts to depend on their praise, and that is exactly where they want you. Sign number 6, the social architect. A toxic person knows that a strong target is a hard target. If you have a loving family, supportive friends, and a strong reputation, you are difficult to control. So, they have to weaken your support system. They become a social architect, or they start isolating you, but they do it so carefully you think it's your idea. They might drop little seeds of doubt about your friends. I don't think Sarah really wants you to succeed. Or your family treats you like a child. You shouldn't let them do that. They aren't trying to protect you. They are trying to sever your lifelines. They create friction between you and your loved ones. They manufacture drama. The end goal is to make themselves the only person you can trust. When you are isolated, you lose your perspective. You lose the people who would tell you, hey, this behavior isn't normal. Isolation is the incubator for abuse. Sign number 7, intermittent reinforcement. This is perhaps the most powerful and dangerous psychological weapon in their arsenal. It is the reason why people stay in toxic relationships for years. It's called intermittent reinforcement. It works on the same principle as a slot machine. If a slot machine never paid out, you would stop playing. If it paid out every single time, you would get bored. But because it pays out randomly and unpredictably, you become addicted to pulling the lever. Toxic people do this with affection. One day, they treat you like a god. They are loving, attentive, and perfect. The next day, they are cold, distant, and critical. You never know which version you're going to get. This inconsistency causes a chemical reaction in your brain. You become addicted to the high of their good days. You start walking on eggshells, trying to recreate the conditions that made them nice to you. You chase that original mirroring phase, not realizing that the coldness isn't a mistake, it is the hook. Sign number 8, possessiveness disguised as protection. Early on, their jealousy might feel flattering. It feels like passion. They text you constantly to ask where you are. They get sulky if you spend time with coworkers. They say things like, I just worry about you, or I just love you so much, I want you all to myself. Do not confuse possession with protection. Love allows for freedom. Toxicity requires captivity. They view you as an extension of themselves, not as an individual. When you focus on your hobbies, your career, or other people, they take it as a personal insult. They want to monopolize your time and your emotional bandwidth. If you feel like you have to report in to avoid an argument, you are not in a relationship. You are under surveillance. Sign number 9, gaslighting light. Before full-blown gaslighting happens, there is a precursor phase. I call this gaslighting light. This happens when they start rewriting your reality in small ways. They deny things they clearly said. They tell you that you are misremembering events, but the most common tactic is invalidating your emotions. If you tell them they hurt your feelings, they won't apologize for their actions. Instead, they will blame your reaction. You are too sensitive. You can't take a joke. You're making a big deal out of nothing. They make you feel like your internal alarm system is broken. They want you to stop trusting your own judgment and start relying on theirs. Once you start asking yourself, "Am I crazy?" they have won. They have successfully hijacked your perception of reality. Sign number 10, the somatic marker. Finally, the most honest sign of all isn't something they do. It is something you feel. It is a somatic marker. Your body is often smarter than your brain. Your brain can be tricked by logic, by words, and by hope. But your nervous system evolved over millions of years to detect predators. Pay attention to how your body feels when you are around them or when their name pops up on your phone. Do you feel a sudden drop in energy? Do you get headaches? Does your stomach tighten? Do you feel anxious without knowing why? This is your body going into fight or flight mode. It is screaming at you that something is wrong. We often ignore these signs, telling ourselves we are just tired or stressed. But if you feel physically sick or exhausted around a specific person, listen to that signal. That is your intuition detecting a threat before your conscious mind has figured it out. So, now that you have identified the signs, what do you do? Do you confront them? Do you try to expose them? Do you try to explain to them how they are hurting you? No, that is exactly what they want. You have to remember, toxic people feed on reaction. They feed on drama. If you get angry, they feel powerful. If you cry, they feel significant. Even if you hate them, you are still giving them your energy. The only way to win is to stop playing their game. We turn to the philosophy of Stoicism. The Stoics taught us a fundamental truth. We cannot control the behavior of others, but we have absolute control over our own reactions. To defeat a toxic targeter, you must use a technique known in psychology as the gray rock method. You must become as uninteresting, unresponsive, and boring as a gray rock. When they try to provoke you with a backhanded compliment, don't get defensive. Just say, "That's an interesting opinion," and move on. When they try to make you jealous, don't react. Shrug your shoulders. When they try to gaslight you, don't argue. Just say, "I remember it differently," and end the conversation. You starve them of the one thing they need, your emotional supply. When they realize that they cannot trigger you, they cannot manipulate you, and they cannot drain you, they will panic. They will try harder for a moment, and then they will leave. They will move on to an easier target. This requires immense self-control. It requires you to rebuild your walls. Stop explaining yourself. In Stoicism, silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. You don't need to justify your boundaries. You just need to hold them. Being targeted by a toxic person is a frightening experience, but it is also a wake-up call. It is a sign that you have something valuable that needs protecting. Recognition is your armor. The moment you see these patterns, the mirroring, the boundary testing, the isolation, the spell is broken. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are an observer. Don't try to change them. You can't fix someone who doesn't see a problem with their behavior. Focus entirely on yourself. Strengthen your self-worth. Reconnect with your true friends and trust your gut instinct. The most dangerous thing to a toxic person is a soul that cannot be shaken. Be that soul. If this analysis helped you see things clearly, make sure to like and subscribe. We are building a community of people who are taking back their power. Stay strong, stay stoic, and stay safe.